Saudara mahasiswa, selamat berjumpa dalam program pendidikan Universitas Terbuka. Program ini akan membahas buku materi pokok mata kuliah Speaking 3 dengan kode PBIS 4306. Program ini akan membahas mengenai panel discussion yang terdapat pada modul 6. Materi-materi yang akan dibahas antara lain opening by chairman, opening speech and introduction by a moderator, presentation by panel, and closing. Saudara mahasiswa, pembahasan yang pertama, opening by chairman. Selamat menyaksikan.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming to session we are all looking forward to. Welcome to this panel discussion. And this is quite a pleasure for me to chair this panel discussion. In the panel, there are 4 speakers who would gratefully answer the 10 questions in the area of language teaching. The general topic of this panel discussion is teaching grammar today. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce Ms. Yulia, who will lead this course of this discussion. Ms. Yulia has been a lecturer and a head of Department of Teacher Training for the last 5 years. Please join me welcoming Ms. Yulia.
Saudara mahasiswa, contoh lain pidato pembukaan oleh ketua diskusi panel. Anda perhatikan dengan seksama.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this panel discussion. I have been given a privilege to chair the last session of this discussion. In this panel discussion, the 5 panel members will answer 5 questions on teaching writing as the concluding questions. The moderator who would guide this session is Ms. Christine of Hong Kong University. Ms. Christine is a lecturer of Department of English and is specialized in teaching writing to non-native learners. Let's welcome Ms. Christine.
Saudara mahasiswa, contoh lain pidato pembukaan oleh ketua diskusi panel. Anda perhatikan dengan seksama.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, welcome to this panel discussion on communicative language teaching. It is really a great pleasure for me to chair this session. Sitting in front of you are 6 panelists who will present on the subject of language teaching. I am also pleased to introduce the moderator of this session, Mr. Narko van Basten. Mr. Narko is the Director of Japanese Studies of the National University of Singapore. Please welcome Mr. Narko.
Saudara mahasiswa, kadang-kadang ketua merangkap sebagai moderator dalam suatu kegiatan diskusi panel. Apabila ini terjadi, maka setelah membuka acara diskusi panel, ketua langsung memperkenalkan para panelis. Anda pelajari contoh-contoh berikut ini.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the session we've been looking forward to. Welcome to this panel discussion, and it is a pleasure for me to chair this discussion. In the panel, there are 4 speakers who would gratefully answer the 20 questions in the area of language teaching. The general topic of this panel discussion is teaching grammar today. Now, before reading the question, allow me to introduce the panels. They are all experts in language teaching, particularly in grammar teaching. The first is Dr. Baun Asmo of United States. Good afternoon, Dr. Asmo. To the left is Dr. Dewi Aulia of Singapore. Good afternoon, Dr. Aulia. Next to her is Mr. Al-Hafid of Canada. And the last is Dr. Nanang Abiwasana of London. Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Hafid and Dr. Abiwasono. Please join me in welcoming the panelists. Well, now I'm going to read the questions. The first question is,
Saudara mahasiswa, contoh lain pidato pembukaan oleh ketua diskusi panel yang merangkap sebagai moderator. Anda perhatikan dengan seksama.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. After a long series of seminar sessions, we are now in this room to listen to a summary session. The panel discussion in which the panels will answer key questions rising during the discussion sessions. Welcome to these sessions, and the general topic of this discussion is promoting learners' roles in language classroom. Ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate the privilege of opening the sessions and guiding the discussions. Based on the general topic of these discussions, there are 5 questions to be discussed. But before I read the questions to you, please allow me to introduce the panel. Directly on my left is Miss Novi, then Dr. Sunardi of Ohio, and next to him is Dr. Sapriyadi of Washington, D.C. Now, let me go on with the fourth speaker. I'm sure everybody knows him or has heard his name. Yes, he is Dr. Nono Suwarno. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Miss Novi, Dr. Sunardi, Dr. Sapriyadi, and Dr. Nono Suwarno. Well, now I would like to read the questions. First,
Saudara mahasiswa, demikianlah pembahasan mengenai opening by chairman. Pembahasan berikutnya mengenai opening speech and introduction by a moderator. Setelah ketua panitia diskusi panel memperkenalkan para panelis dan moderatornya, maka tibalah giliran moderator berpidato untuk membuka acara diskusi panel.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome to this session. I feel it is a privilege to guide the course of this discussion. The general topic of this discussion is teaching grammar today. There are 4 speakers in the panel who are experienced in the teaching of grammar. Now, allow me to introduce them to you. The first is Dr. Bangun Asma of the United States. To the left is Dr. Dewi Olia of Singapore. Next to her is Mr. Al Hafid of Canada. And the last is Dr. Nanang Ebiwasono. Please join me welcoming the panelists. Now I would like to read the questions. The first, how should we view grammar and the teaching of grammar to enhance communication? The second, when or why does a speaker or writer vary the form? The third, what is needed in mediating grammar through concordance? Fourth, should we test grammar as a part of a whole or in isolation? Fifth, is the grammar test really testing knowledge and use of grammar or other aspects such as paralinguistic features? Sixth, reliability is the extent to which we can generalize about the person's language ability from their performance on a test. Does their test performance indicate their underlying ability in using grammar? 7. What are the advantages of the direct method of testing grammar?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for opening this session and for introducing me, so I do not need to introduce myself anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this discussion. In this discussion, we are here with these experts answering questions on language teaching. But before I read the questions, please allow me to introduce the panel members. The first speaker, directly on my left-hand side, is Dr. Sunardi from Australia. The second, next to Dr. Sunardi, is Professor Zulkifli from Canada. Good morning, Dr. Sunarti and Professor Zulkifli.
Good morning.
And now, let me go on to Dr. Ari. She is from Australia too. And the last panelist is Mrs. Sweeney from Thailand. Good morning, Dr. Ari and Mrs. Sweeney. Ladies and gentlemen, please join the welcome panel. Now, let me read the questions. First, how does the learner-teacher interaction influence the rate of the second language acquisition? Second, how do strategies contribute to success in language learning terms? Third, which strategies are the best predictors of progress in other receptive or productive macro skills?
Saudara mahasiswa, setelah memperkenalkan para panelis dan membaca pertanyaan yang harus dijawab oleh para panelis, moderator menjelaskan prosedur yang harus diikuti dalam diskusi panel. Sekarang, Anda pelajari apa yang disampaikan oleh moderator sebelum presentasi dimulai.
Ladies and gentlemen, those are the questions we should discuss in this session. Now, let me explain the procedure we should follow in this discussion. There are 5 questions of language teaching, and we will start from the first question. There are 4 speakers in the panel, but it does not necessarily mean that all the speakers should answer the question. Perhaps one speaker does not have any idea about it, or he has the same idea as any of the panelists. I would also appreciate participation from the audience. However, we should always watch over the time because we have limited time to let expensive participation. Well, let's listen to the answer to the first question. Ladies and gentlemen, time is yours.
Setelah menjelaskan prosedur dalam diskusi panel, moderator mempersilakan panelis untuk menjawab pertanyaan-pertanyaan yang telah ditetapkan. Selama diskusi berlangsung, moderator dapat pertama, memperjelas pertanyaan, clarifying questions. Kedua, menginterpretasikan makna yang kurang jelas, interpreting uncertain meaning. Ketiga, mengarahkan peserta diskusi kembali ke fokus pembicaraan, bringing discussion back on the track. Keempat, menyimpulkan jawaban panelis, summarizing. Kelima, menutup acara diskusi, close of areas of discussion. Keenam, menanyakan pertanyaan lanjutan, ask next step questions. Ketujuh, menginterupsi pembicara, interrupt speech makers. Sekarang, Anda pelajari masing-masing tugas yang dilakukan oleh moderator selama diskusi panel berlangsung.
Does it mean that children's reading can be aided as a mode of practical knowledge if their teachers help them to take the suggested steps?
Are you trying to say that there was no inherent order in language in the way it was learned?
Do you mean one of the key characteristics of ethnographic research is descriptive?
If I'm not mistaken, you said one of the key characteristics of ethnographic research is descriptive.
If I can put another way, Mr. Jacobs was trying to say that there was no inherent order in language in the way it was learned.
What Dr. Norman meant was that there is a relation between language and culture. Well, I don't think we should discuss it further. Excuse me, I think we are getting lost, so I would suggest returning to our point.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've heard different answers proposed by the panel. I would like now to restate their points in summary. Regardless of the different ways they explain them, they share one thing. The shared point of view is that language acquisition is a natural development process. They support this position with research from the fields of child development, psycholinguistics, and physiology.
Well, we have just listened to the answers of the second question. In summary, the panel was trying to say that the role of teachers changes in many ways. Teaching in multilingual classes leads to new tasks for mother tongue teachers, especially to qualify students not only to communicate inside one language group, but also between speakers of different mother tongues, and to build up understanding and appreciation for other languages. The foreign language teachers have to consider different aims for different languages regarding the level of mastery in understanding and producing a foreign language. They are expected to help students to learn autonomously and to cooperate with peers. That is my summary of the answers.
Ladies and gentlemen, each member of the panel has given the answers to the question on literacy. I hope you are happy with the answers. Now, we can move ahead to the third question.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is all the answers to the second question. Everybody has shared opinions about language literacy, and I have also presented the summary. Now, let us come to the next discussion.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have finished with the third question. Is there anything else we ought to consider?
The panel has finished with the first question. So, shall we go on to the next one?
Excuse me for interrupting, but would you please repeat your last sentence?
Sorry to interrupt, but are you trying to say that grammar is not important?
Saudara mahasiswa, demikianlah pembahasan mengenai opening speech and introduction by a moderator. Pembahasan berikut mengenai presentation by panel.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have read all questions. Let us now listen to the answers and explanation from the panel members. There are 4 speakers in the panel who will reply to the questions. Professor Dr. Hairal, Dr. Sunu Dwi Antoro, Dr. Agus Rianto, and Dr. Benny. Professor Dr. Hairal, time is completely yours.
Thank you, Ms. Hera. As far as I am concerned, literacy involves the integration of listening, speaking, reading, writing, and critical thinking. It incorporates numeric. It includes the culture, which enables a speaker, writer, or reader to recognize and use language appropriate to different social situations. Literacy allows people to use language to enhance their capacity to think, create, and question, which help them become more aware of the world and empowers them to participate more effectively in society. That is all I can say about literacy. Perhaps my fellow speakers would like to elaborate.
Setelah panelis pertama menjawab salah satu pertanyaan yang telah ditetapkan, moderator memberikan sedikit komentar. Anda pelajari komentarnya.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Hairal. for your comment on literacy. Now, we can listen to the next comments or answer from the other panel members.
Thank you for your time. Well, I do agree with that opinion. However, some would still see this definition as narrow. The definition challenged three dominant conceptualizations of literacy that more broadly defined as the cultural heritage model, the personal growth model, and the skill model. Instead of unitary and simplistic definition of literacy, many now choose to talk of literacy practices which recognize that there is much literacy. The term literacy is crucial to many social activities and is interconnected with other cultural practices and specific contexts. I think we should listen to Dr. Agus Rianto. Please, Dr. Rianto.
Saudara mahasiswa, setelah panelis kedua memberikan komentarnya tentang literasi, moderator kembali memberikan komentarnya. Anda pelajari apa yang dikatakan oleh moderator.
There is a further explanation about literacy by Dr. Sunu Antoro. Thank you, Dr. Antoro. I hope what just said would make sense and help you understand more about literacy. Now, we perhaps can listen to Dr. Rianto.
Thank you, Dr. Antoro. With regard to those views on literacy, I have personal experience. I can recall little of my early primary school literacy experiences. In fact, the only memory I have of the whole of my first grade year is of being harassed by a teacher, because I could not sound out a single isolated word. Now, it is interesting to reflect on this ordeal. I was asked to stand in front of a class and attempt to sound out the word I was well nest. While I had trouble in pronouncing the word nest, I could recognize the word and say it. Interestingly enough, at the time I had an aviary in my backyard that contained 200 birds and many nests, and I spent much of my recreation time climbing trees to collect eggs to add to my collection. My teacher, his well-intentioned desire to show me how to sound the word nest had nothing but a negative effect on me as a person and a literacy learner. The literacy practice that she was insisting that I master had little relevance to my work. Saying this, I would like to contend that when teachers impose limited definitions of what is to be literate on their students, many inappropriate demonstrations of literacy are offered. This in turn can lead to similarity in inappropriate literacy practices. Well, what do you think, Dr. Bani?
Thank you, Dr. Rianto. What I can say about it is that we can learn at least 3 things from the example. Firstly, we can reduce English to a series of easily digestible chunks. Don't expect the meat to be satisfying or to lead to long-term growth in the individual. Like a meal of watermelon, it offers little nourishment and does not stay long in the individual. Secondly, bite-sized language is not transforming or empowering. And the last I can say is that language is a complex human endeavor rooted in cultural practices. I hope this makes sense to you and help clear the confusion. I think I should give the time back to the moderator.
Berikut ini adalah komentar dari moderator.
Ladies and gentlemen, the panel has given the answers, arguments, and comments on the questions on literacy. I think what was said by the panel is quite understandable, and it seems this is no more comments from the panel. However, if you have something in your mind, please do not hesitate to raise your hand and the panel will answer your further questions. If there are no questions, we will go on to the next questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have listened to the panel answering the first question. If you don't have anything to ask about the questions, we should go on to the next question. Well, panelists, time is over to you.
Saudara mahasiswa, selanjutnya Anda pelajari bagaimana diskusi panel dilaksanakan.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have no clear idea about what I must say, but let me try to say a few words. Cooperative learning is based on the idea that people can learn through expressing and exploring diverse ideas and experiences in cooperative company. Cooperative learning promotes academic achievement and positive attitudes in the classroom, while student motivation, social involvement, and academic interaction among students are enhanced. It is for students of all ages and levels of ability. Working cooperatively not only helps students develop important social skills, it is also an excellent way to help them relate appropriately to others with different backgrounds from their own. Students with varied social backgrounds, intellectual skills, and physical capabilities work together to learn subject matter, solve problems, and accomplish tasks. That's how I know about cooperative learning. I hope I answer your questions. Maybe my panelist fellows would add more information. Thank you.
Okay, that's the first answer by Miss Emma. Thank you, Miss Emma. I hope there will be more from Dr. Wina, Professor Pujistyo, and Dr. Chandra. Please.
Let me now try to figure out what I can say about cooperative learning just to make the idea more transparent. Well, in cooperative learning, the members learn to accept and value individual differences. Cooperative learning problems are resolved by the group members. Further, the group members work towards solving problems and completing tasks with minimal teacher assistance. The social skills that the group membership develops are critical to live within and beyond the classroom. Effective groups are characterized by the proliferation of points of view about the subject, task, or problem at hand, by the willingness to bear and consider these diverse viewpoints, and by growth in group members, understanding of a knowledge about the subject, task, or problems at hand. Okay, I hope my explanation is not confusing. If so, the other panelists may clarify my conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Pujistyo. Ladies and gentlemen, after listening to the second answer, I think we can now listen to the third panelist.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to further explain some points concerning cooperative learning. When children are introduced to cooperative group work, it is important to demonstrate and discuss appropriate group behavior and to help students recognize key ideas and formulate summaries of those ideas. For participation, supportiveness, turn-taking,